Hello, everyone. A warm morning to each one of you. Let's begin with our second lecture of chapter Food. Where does it come from? In our previous class, I gave you an activity, remember? I asked you to make sprouts. How many of you performed this activity at home? I hope everyone. Great. So, what did you observe? Yes, you are right. A thread like structure came out of the seeds. Now let us understand what is this structure and how and when does it come out. See, the seeds contain a young plant inside them called embryo. And for the protection of this embryo, seeds are covered by a very hard coating known as seed coat. When we soak the seeds in water and give them optimum temperature, light, and air, the seed coat becomes soft and the thread like structure comes out. This thread like structure is nothing but the embryo. At this stage, the seeds are said to be sprouted seeds or the sprouts. Look at this diagram. In this diagram, you can see that the seed is covered by a hard coating known as the seed coat, and inside it there is an embryo. See, the embryo has two parts known as the radicle and the plumule. So we can say that radicle and plumule together make up the embryo of the plant. During germination or sprouting, radical part of the embryo comes out first because radical helps in the formation of the root system. Once the radical comes out, it helps in forming the root system which anchors the growing seedling into the soil and helps in absorbing water and nutrients for the growth of the plumule. After that, the plumule comes out of the seeds and helps in the formation of the shoot system. Sprouts have a major advantage over the seeds for human beings in a manner that sprouts they are very nutritious. They contain vitamins and proteins and they are much more easily digestible. That is why one must include sprouts in their diet. In this slide again I have tried to show how germination takes place. See, when the seeds are soaked, on the first day the seed coat it becomes soft and the embryo, as you can see in the picture, on the second day it starts coming out, and slowly first of all the radicle comes out. In the fifth and the sixth day picture you can see the radicle forming the roots as well, and after that the plumule comes out. Let us discuss another animal product, honey. Honey is a sweet liquid which is prepared by honeybees using the nectar from the flowers. Nectar is a sweet liquid which is produced by flowers to attract the insects and birds for pollination. Honeybees collect the nectar from the nearby flowers and convert them into honey. This honey is stored in the beehives. Beehives which contain honey are known as honeycombs. These honeycombs are hexagonal in shape and are covered by a layer of wax. These days, honeybees are commercially reared also. Of course, reared. See, this rearing of honeybees commercially on large scale for producing honey is known as apiculture. Honeybees are reared in wooden boxes. As you can see in this picture, you can see some boxes behind this man. These wooden boxes, they have large chambers with wooden plates in them. And on these plates, a hexagonal imprint is given on which the honeybees, they make their honeycomb. And honeycomb, it contains honey. So apiculture is a technique of obtaining honey by rearing the honeybees. Now let us come to our next topic, that is grouping of animals on the basis of their food habits. See, food is a basic necessity for all living organisms. But each living organism has a different way of obtaining food. On the basis of their food habits, we can classify the organisms into two major categories: autotrophs and heterotrophs. Auto means self, and trophos means nourishment. That means the organisms which can self nourish themselves, which can produce their own food, are known as autotrophs. The most common example is the plants. Plants are the organisms which can prepare their own food by utilizing carbon dioxide and solar energy and water and minerals in the presence of a pigment called chlorophyll, as you must have studied in your previous classes also, by a basic process known as photosynthesis. These are also known as producers. But most of the other organisms, they cannot prepare their own food. They are dependent on the plants directly or indirectly for their food requirements. Such organisms are known as heterotrophs. The most common example is human beings. We cannot prepare our own food. We are dependent upon plants directly or indirectly. So such organisms are known as consumers. Heterotrophs are classified into three categories, that is, herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores, on the basis of their different food habits. Herbivores are the animals which essentially feed on plants and plant products. Now, as they have to do lots of chewing and grinding, their teeth are short, flat, and broad. The most common examples you already know: cow, horse, goat, etc. Carnivores are the animals which feed on the flesh of other animals. Now, as these animals they have to hunt and tear the flesh of the other animals, they have got very long and pointed teeth. Example: lion, tiger, etc. Now, the third category is of the omnivores. These are the animals which can feed both on the animal flesh as well as they can eat the plant products. They can eat wide variety of food range. That is why they have very distinctive teeth. The common examples are bear, dogs, and even human beings. Now let us discuss the NCERT exercises. Question number 1. Do you find that all living beings need the same kind of food? Of course not. All living beings do not need same kind of food. Their modes of nutrition and their nutritional requirements are different, as we have just studied that herbivores they feed on plants and carnivores they eat the flesh, whereas omnivores can eat both animal flesh and the plant products. Question 2. Name 5 plants and their parts that we eat. You can give example of any plant and the edible part. For example, brinjal, we eat its fruit, groundnut, we eat the seeds, etc. Explanation of the first chapter and the question answers are complete. Kindly read the chapter thoroughly, go through the notes, listen to the video presentation and try to answer the questions give for the notebook.